based on security constitutions, just as leader has just mentioned. Subsequently, these collations have since been completed under a serene environment and the results declared. True to our case, all the results were declared in favor of the MPP parliamentary candidates. The point must be made that this is not the first time in the history of this country's election that we have been confronted with an issue where there has been a continuation of a disrupted constituency collation or recollation. I think this point is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It will be recalled that in the year 2004, the parliamentary results in Pu constituency was initially declared for the MPP candidate, King David Amoah. However, upon recollation of the results based on the pin sheet provided by the NDC candidate and his agents, the EC, under the then chairman, Dr.Bawumia Afenyo, reversed the results and declared the NDC candidate as the winner. So it has happened before in the electoral history of this country. The point must also be made that the position of the law is that once a proper and regular declaration has been done by the EC, the only remedy available to an aggrieved party, apart from resorting to alternative disputes resolution, ADR, pursuant to Court Act and ADR Act, is to go to the High Court for redress under Article 99(1) of the 1992 Constitution. However, with the seats that the MPP is contesting, no declaration, properly so called, was done. So the declaration has not been done. Who can ask us to go to court? You know, it's for the EC to recollect, as it did in the year 2004, under Dr. Afenyo at Pu constituency in the now Bono East region. But the EC itself has issued a statement, a press conference, that there's no declaration. How does the NDC expect the EC to gazette election results that have not been fully collated and declared? It is pretty obvious that the NDC leadership and their supporters, who stormed the collation centers to compel the EC under the threat of death to declare their candidates as winners, have labored in vain, because we are a country of rule of law, not rule of men. EC's response. It is not surprising that at a press conference held on Friday, 13 December, the Electoral Commission, through its deputy chair, Mr. Samuel Tete, stated emphatically that there was no declaration of the Ablekuma North, Domekwa Plenya, Tema Central, Okaikwe North, Ahafuanu North, Ahafuanu Southwest, Obuasi East, Pechima South, and Nswam Adwajiri constituency parliamentary results, because the collation was incomplete. Indeed, the Commission has maintained that all purported declaration of parliamentary results made under duress, as was seen in those constituencies, are not in conformity with laid down processes enshrined in CI 127, hence illegal and will not be upheld by the EC. Conclusion. It is therefore our expectation that the EC would immediately resume the collation exercise. We implore the National Election Security Task Force to provide adequate security to facilitate peaceful collation under a serene environment. We are also calling on the NDC leadership to rein in on their supporters. We are very certain that our parliamentary candidates in the above-mentioned constituencies won the elections based on verifiable data from the pink sheets, as we have demonstrated. We urge the EC and all stakeholders to, in the interest of democracy and peace of our dear country, take immediate steps to give effect to the will of the voters in these constituencies as expressed in the December polls. I thank you. In Domi Kwabinya, and are confident that when EC resumes coalition, our position will be vindicated. 5. Ahafano North constituency in Ashanti region. The NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, won the parliamentary elections with a margin of 121 votes, as per data collated from all the 140 polling stations by the party. The NPP's candidate, Nana Ajimai Prempeh, has hard copies of all the 140 pink sheets. That put him at 20,353 votes, as against NDC's candidate at 20,232. I believe we all have witnessed what we call MP3 in Tema East some time back. So if somebody wins with a difference of 121, he has won. After all, the law says first past the post. During the collation by the EC at the Constituency Collation Center, NDC tax stormed the collation center at Kepa SHS and began destroying and burning electoral materials, particularly pink sheets, computers, and ballot papers, as well as property of the Kepa SHS, including louver blades, benches, and tables. They also manhandled MPP representatives and EC officials. These violent conduct by the NDC tax, who had overpowered the police, prompted the intervention of the military to save lives and property. The NDC hoodlums did not only attack the collation center, but they also proceeded to launch an attack at the residence of the NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, bent his vehicle and attacked his warehouse, stole his items, and attacked his radio station. There are video footages in wide circulations that captured all these attacks. These issues have since been reported to the Ghana police, and an arrest warrant has been issued. The videos are there, and we will give you copies of it. The question many will ask is, since when has it become an offense to contest a parliamentary elections in this country? Why is the NDC bent on thwarting all our democratic gains? Ghana has made a lot of gains. Instead of consolidating it, they are thwarting it. They are throwing it away. Let's go to the 6th one, Obuasi East. That's also in Ashanti. After collecting the polling station results from all the 115 polling stations, the NPP parliamentary candidate obtained 18,558 votes, as against NDC's 18,539. Strangely, the returning officer, the police, and the NPP candidate, at the threat of their lives, succumbed to the unlawful demands of the NDC hoodlums, who had besieged the collation center and took charge of the constituency collation process to swap the election results. And we have that. Is that ready to show them? They swapped the results that I have mentioned. And then announced that. Okay, they gave them APP's candidates to that of the NDC. Obuasi.
They just cancelled.
They cancelled the first one, which we have the data and reverse. I mean, what is this? They swapped the results in favor of the NDC.
And they locked the candidate and asked him to sign to say died. He prefers dying or going to Parliament. So he should sign.
Number 7, Ahafano Southwest, also in Ashanti. Results from all the 103 polling stations indicate that the MPP's candidate, Elvis Osei Sadapa, obtained 16,058 votes, as against NDC's candidate, who polled 15,372 votes. As usual, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center and in the process killed one of our supporters. We have all our pink sheets intact, and that shows clearly that the MPP parliamentary candidate won the parliamentary elections by 686 votes margin. 686 votes margin. The EC invited the parties to its regional collation center on Monday, 9 December 2024 at 10 a.m. The EC collated all the results from all the 103 polling stations, filled the Form 1C as well as the Form 1D. But due to threat on his life, he opted not to declare the final result. So this is the situation at Ahafuano Southwest. Now we go to Bono East, number 8, Techima South constituency. Collation from 279 out of a total of 282 polling stations indicate clearly that Honorable Martin Kwaku Ajayi Mensah Kosa, the MPP parliamentary candidate, obtained 46,468 votes as against NDC's Christopher Mayari, who polled for the 3,365 votes. Two other candidates in the parliamentary elections obtained 225 votes. The constituency collation was disrupted by NDC elements and has since not resumed. The next one is Eastern Region and Sawam Adwaji. Data from all the 202 polling stations show that the incumbent MP, Honorable Anodombre, has won the parliamentary elections. The EC's collation at the Constituency Collation Center was disrupted by the NDC. The EC's arrangement to continue with the collation at the regional level in Koforidua was also disrupted by the hoodlums, compelling the EC to relocate the collation to the police training school at Tesala, based on security considerations.
I want to explain something that happened at Tesala. Honorable Obiamwa and my good self were there as representatives from the party's headquarters. On that day, that was a Thursday, last week Thursday, we had 4 constituencies: Fantiakwa North, Akotia, Suhum, and Nsawam Adwaji. The first collation to be completed for the day was Fantiakwa North. When we got that done, we came to Akotia, which we also successfully completed, and it was declared. Then it was leveled in Nsawam Adwaji and Suhum. Both were being done. Now, for Suhum, there was another go slow. The NDC at every stage tried to disrupt. Eventually, they rejected 6 polling station results, and we accepted that if they've rejected, they don't want it to be part, that is fine, because it was still giving us a win of over 1,500. Then they tried to use the independent candidates agent to frustrate the process. In fact, eventually, the NDC leaders who came there, led by the famous Alfred Woyomi, told me and Honorable Obiamwa that they want to negotiate for us to allow the declaration of Suhum, and that their foot soldiers were amassing outside, and that if all 4 constituencies are declared for us, they will kill them. Very sad. Eventually, when we said no, we have to continue with the process, and we completed the Suhum process where Suhum was declared, they tried another go slow on Nsawam Adwaji. Each one of them that came said, "Oh, you say, I'm not on winning. I am farmer." Where does this happen? Eventually, when the EC official decided to continue the process, the NDC, led by Alfred Woyomi, came into the collation center and said that, okay, their computer was not working, so we should give them 2 hours to charge their battery. As at 1 a.m., when they had gotten 3 hours to charge the so-called battery of the laptop, they said they were tired. Meanwhile, their candidate walked in. The candidate for Nsawam Adwaji walked in. And we said, okay, if you are tired, the candidate himself was there. Meanwhile, Honorable Anodombre had been there the whole day. What next? The EC official, after another 1 hour of unnecessary disruption, He said he was tired, he was feeling sleepy, and that we should do it at 6 a.m. the following day, Friday. We all slept there. Well, by the way, I left around 4 a.m. to shower, and I came back around 7 o'clock. Around this time, the General Secretary was also there, but the candidate, Honorable Anodompre, and his agent slept there. At 6:30 thereabout, collation resumed. Around 8 o'clock, they started the agenda again. Will not allow. Then around 8:30, their counsel came in, Honorable Mr. Eduji Tamaku, claiming that he had in his possession an injunction order from the court, only to find out later that they will use a delay tactics to file an application. They have filed a writ in court, that is the candidate for NDC had filed a writ in court with an injunction application, which they were seeking to serve the Honorable Anodombre and EC. So clearly, these are not Democrats. Whereas Dr. Bawumia conceded defeat even before EC's official announcement, they were not ready to accept defeat in these constituencies that day. They were not ready to concede defeat where they knew clearly, because their posture was that they won't allow the process to continue. And then in fact on Friday itself, after they have successfully gotten the Anodombre's constituency collation disrupted, then they came to the others. The police had arranged collation tables for the other constituencies. In fact, Techiman South has started. They were collating. Ahafano Southwest, we had their table. We had Obuasi East, and all the Ashanti region seats were supposed to be collated. And then the following day, Saturday, was for Greater Accra. They deliberately disrupted and then used social media to threaten the police, whereupon the police felt that they could not provide security, in spite of EC's insistence to continue the work. In fact, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that actually instructed the EC to stop the collation process. I repeat, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that instructed EC to stop the process of collating the result because it was not sure of its ability to provide security. And you recall that that was when the deputy communication officer, I don't want to mispronounce his name, had issued threat, had commanded 5,000 people to meet at the police training school. It's all on social media. So our appeal to the international community, civil society organizations, the media, and all lovers of democracy is to show interest in these outstanding constituencies and give the EC every moral support to proceed to make these declarations. Again, we are encouraging the Electoral Commission that pursuant to their own statement they issued and their press conference on the evening of Friday to proceed to collect and declare these results. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman.
Over the tougher, a baby we say, yeah, I award the new patriotic party, and then at the country and then more and central for no issue here. The tente and in the tente and they say, your constituencies be a MPP based on your coalition and your near Dunkunim Ewo. And I feel so. Pin sheeter, you got 12 by electoral commission. And the political parties, no, you can't in your boom, no, near Dunkunim. Offer constituencies, Nina, baby, as they say, Ablikumanov. Oshel Bosa, MPP now, our Ablikumanov. I 34,613. Now NDC candidates, as we know, 34,199. HSA year candidate, friend Honorable Nana Ekuya Uswefino, Edin Kunim, with 414 votes. So we Ablekuma North everywhere. Over Tema Central so share your results are near quality based on PCTA, Electoral Commission na the Maya. Who say your candidate a year forcing in 18,870 and our NDC candidate no in 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North Naba Okaikwe Central and also era Patribuama our Yemra Shebedjanu ho or also collecting the results in the area. Obo said MPP candidate no in 20,229. Our NDC candidate in 18,783. We share vote difference now 1,446 vote difference. Now cut 3 polling stations and here say kind NDC for the happening. There's all kinds of 3 polling station votes in the Krabuma. Still, your candidate and they didn't kunim over. Oba baby to say Dome Kwabina also so NDC for the 2 trasem and the Basabase call honor. Omantima Boama collation na say Koso or Dome Kwabina and also so Ankoso Ewo. Oba baby to say for non-north constituency. Okay, your PCTA near one in Aboma, your candidate, a year Nanajima, Eric Nanajima Prempe, and 20,353 as against NDC candidate we now 20,232. To Shema vote difference no, a 121 vote difference. Oba baby to say of West East MPP near Dinkunimoho. Vote MPP candidate now 18,558 as against NDC candidate we now 18,539. And no electoral commission will be via annual quality results in every. Now so NDC for macho man for to transfer more. Share electoral commission your candidate say results MPP and your MPP dear NDC, your NDC dear MPP. Our NDC candidate to issue so say Obewu National Parliament then I'll pay and I'm teaching your candidate in inside. We are no free our north southwest and so your candidate or Ushe votes are now 16,058 and then this candidate now 16,000 your candidate now 16,058 and then this candidate now 15,372. And Osha vote margin, the BTN this now, there is 686 votes. And also NDC for 2 transfers are or Mama Electoral Commission, 89 quality results in NBA. Over Techiman South so Honorable Martin Kokwede Mensa Kosa, no Dinkunim or South constituency. Our votes are near quality on now 46,468 as against NDC candidate on now 43,365 votes. And also so said the NDC 4 years to try some more Parkway Central, Afano Southwest, and Afano South, Afano North. No, some of the call her Techiman South, Intimin kind way. In Sawa Adrede so the same issue and the course of Ewo. And the crowd there said they were Afenyo Markin, by joint leader Kayano. You could share what Tessano, now electoral commission, and twice meet me kind way. NDC the patapasem to trasem sa massa exercise no am young kwanko wi now about our win constituency also so electoral commission start to carry results no ya sha what mean say figures go ha what polling station go ha o ma than figures no and tell no so ya call electoral commission say o honor results no so e say mo mani call as a party so egusu aye hwehwem now for constituency bi to say suhum fantia pa north any akwatia and now say na bambo any South constituency one I was at the core already bambo one. You don't call Tessano police training school one. As soon as you want to quality in a year no ampa tell the MPP can you didn't kunim else room akwatia and a fantia panoff. They say baby about Juno. Yes say electoral commission say a car standing constituencies are young can we ya as was share American. Yes say you right GP. Ira dampare o sheyebo sa abato ebetu na ma sunbia abam na no ma ekoso no nesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gyina hɔ police ntimi nyɛ hwee na ɔmo yɛ tutu asɛm hɔ tie sɛ ne sɛ bambɔ bi a ɛsɛ ɔde ma electoral commission sɛ ɛbɛyɛ electoral commission ebetumi ayɛ ɔmo adwuma awie no saa bambɔ deɛ fa ma electoral commission na ɔnyɛ sɛ adwuma no obɛti sɛ NDC foɔ keka no mframa no sɛ sɛ MPP yɛsɛ yɛwi ne ɛkɔ court yɛnya du baabi yɛsɛ yɛkɔ court ɛfisɛ electoral commission ɔnkɔlɛti results wie ɛgazɛti yɛ ɛno nti bɛka sɛ ɔbɛgyina sɛ akɔ court yɛnya nwie collation deɛ ɛsɛ yɛ collation wie na wɔgyegye sɛ electoral commission yɛ collation wie a MPP yɛbɛdi nkunim ɔɔ saa constituencies ɛnti na yɛfrɛ wɔn ɛdɛ no ɛdɛ mo nyinaa ama se